Some of the greatest stories in history are rarely told, which is why it's our pleasure to introduce you to George Hamilton for Black History Month. He's a U.S. Army veteran who is one of a small percentage of Black helicopter pilots who served during the Vietnam War. I'm Michelle Hoffman with his story in this week's Veterans in Focus.
Things were said that African Americans were not smart enough to be polished, but we prevailed over that.
Vietnam War veteran George Hamilton served for 9 years. After enlisting in the Army, he was later accepted into flight school, but even though the Vietnam War is known as the first American war, where Black and white troops weren't formally segregated, Hamilton says he and others faced discrimination because of the color of their skin.
We had other challenges of once being selected, certain ones trying to get us kicked out of the program. But we all were there to serve our country.
Less than 2% of combat helicopter pilots serving in Vietnam were Black. Defying the odds, the Corpus Christi native became one of them.
Often you hear about the Tuskegee Airmen, but very seldom do you hear about the African-American aviators of Vietnam. There were only 560 of us. Of that 560, less than 100 of us are still alive.
These pilots were among America's fiercest, dodging danger all to support the troops on the ground.
Missions could range from a resupply to an insertion to an extraction, going into hot LZs.
Hamilton recalled one of his first flights in Vietnam.
We were doing an insertion of Vietnamese troops into a mountainous area. One of the Vietnamese troops exited our aircraft incorrectly and was killed.
It was a moment he wouldn't forget.
That brings you straight up into understanding, this is real life, this is not training, this is the real deal.
But while supporting the fight abroad, Hamilton faced another battle when he returned home.
We were up against a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges. There was a lot of racism, a lot of bigotry. But we prevailed.
After serving in the military, Hamilton became an entrepreneur. But as an active member of the Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association, he believes it's important to share the part they played in American history.
This represents a photo of the largest gathering of African American aviators to date.
As he navigates ever-changing times,
in some ways, things have definitely improved.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree that things have improved, but unfortunately, too many things remain the same.
Hamilton hopes his determination inspires others to never give up on their dreams and always fight for what they believe in.
I still believe in the power of the vote. I believe in activism, and I believe in fighting the right fight.
As Chris 6 News celebrates Black History Month, we want to hear your story. If you or someone you know wants to be featured, you can call our Veterans in Focus hotline or send me a message. For this week's Veterans in Focus, I'm Michelle Hoffman, Chris 6 News.